Somebody is trying to openly sabotage and expose Lamar Jackson. This on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Yes. Welcome back to yet another episode of Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, a Baltimore Ravens podcast YouTube channel. I am your host, Sutton Def, and today we're here to talk about, I guess you can say, a bombshell article that was dropped by the Baltimore Sun, and more specifically, Mike Preston of the Baltimore Sun, in what you could say exposing Lamar Jackson, and also at the same time kind of sabotaging the relationship between Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in real time. We're going to talk about that on this episode of the show. Lots to get into on that front, because this is a time where Lamar Jackson is getting ready to negotiate his second contract with the Ravens, or technically his third, right? He's going to get this extension. It's just a matter of what the Ravens are willing to give up for him to extend him, because he has a $75 million cap hit this upcoming season. The Ravens cannot afford that. So this article that we're going to talk about really, I think, throws mud and throws gasoline on the fire, rather, that is the relationship between Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Because surprise, surprise, I don't think that the relationship between the team and this guy Lamar is the best either. I don't. But there were some things that we're going to uncover today on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports that nobody has heard before. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you stick around for this episode. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because this is going to be a juicy one. It's going to be a juicy one. First, we will start with this. John Harbaugh spoke today. Today is Wednesday, Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. He spoke today about Lamar Jackson's status, his current status on whether or not he will play on Saturday. Let's take a listen to John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I guess it's not like a black and blue mark. These are deep tissue contusions. I'm not a medical guy, but I did see the MRI. It's legitimate, very painful. It tends to muscles lock up around it. You can't really move very well. He's in that process now of loosening all that up, hopefully, and you can't really say when it's going to be right. He's got to be able to play. He's got to be able to be an athlete, be able to move. And so when a contusion, that word, that type of damage to the tissue happens, then you have to be able to play. You have to be able to be an athlete. You got to be able to move around and do your thing. So that's what you're working back towards with all the treatment and everything. So believe me, if he can go out there and do it, this guy's one of the ultimate competitors that you're ever going to see. If he's able to go, he's going to be out there going.
Okay. So as you heard there, John Harbaugh is saying that right now it's undetermined whether or not Lamar Jackson is going to play against the Green Bay Packers on Saturday. That's fine. He's saying that, this is a back contusion where it's a little bit more serious than what we thought live in game Sunday night. So again, those of you who were saying Lamar Jackson quit on his team just because of how the hit looked, I need some apologies. You know who you are. I need some apologies. Because Lamar is actually hurt. He's actually banged up. And he might not play Saturday. And according to this article that we're going to get into, he might have played his last snap with the Baltimore Ravens. If it's all true, of course. We're going to find out whether or not he was actually exposed in this one. That's what we're going to find out. What's up, guys? I see everybody in the live chat. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm live right now. Over 60 people watching live. Appreciate you guys again. Merry Christmas to you all. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys are having a great time. If you're part of the hashtag replay gang, which means you might be watching this later on Christmas Eve night or Christmas morning, good evening, good morning, whatever, whenever you might be listening to this. Again, my name is Sutton Def. This is Quiet Storm Sports, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Welcome in. You just heard John Harbaugh talk about how Lamar Jackson, that is undetermined to play on Saturday. John Harbaugh also provided context on the Lamar Jackson back injury. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about that.
It's undetermined right now. Non-participation today, was not able to practice, but he could play, without that practice for sure. He's practiced, played a lot of football, won a lot of games for us. If he's ready to go, he will go. If he can go, he will go. You can bet on that. So
you say it was like undetermined right now with him?
Yeah, day to day, couldn't practice today. So we'll see where it's at tomorrow and as we go forward.
Wait a minute, one more time. I think I might have missed something. One more time. What did you say, John?
Forward. It's undetermined right now. Non-participation today, was not able to practice, but he could play, without that practice for sure. He's practiced, played a lot of football, won a lot of games.
He's practiced, played a lot, won a lot of football games. What kind of word salad? It looks like he's trying to cover something up. Might just be me. Some people be saying I'm tripping. I'll be speculating too much. I'm too deep in the weeds. Hey, you can call me. I mean, if you're looking for deep in the weeds opinions and conspiracies about this Ravens team, you can come over to the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, because I'm going to have it for you every single time. I'm sorry if I'm going to do a deep dive onto body language, right? And rhetoric, things that they're saying, the way that they're saying it. It's kind of easy to read. It's pretty easy to read when guys are communicating and they don't know what to say. Sometimes I'm the same way. Sometimes I'm communicating with you guys, I don't know what to say. And I sound a lot like that, like John Harbaugh. And that's just me talking as somebody with a degree in communications, literally. That's what it feels like to me. Let's one more time. Let's continue.
Won a lot of games for us. If he's ready to go, he will go. If he can go, he will go. You can bet on that. So
you say it was like undetermined right now with him?
Yeah, day to day, couldn't practice today. So we'll see where it's at tomorrow and as we go forward.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, Harbaugh. Good answers, right? Safe answers. Didn't really give us, a black or white answer. Is he going to play or is he not going to frickin' play? We didn't get that today. Luckily, it's Wednesday. Thursday is Christmas. I assume that everybody will have off Christmas and they'll be back to practice on Friday, which will just be a walkthrough. And if I had to guess, I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be looking ready to go by Friday. We'll find out. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we're going to get news that Lamar Jackson is ready. He's throwing. He's on the field. He's on the practice field, running full walkthroughs with the first teamers and everything. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. With the amount of pain that he looked like he was in on Sunday Night Football, after the game in the locker room and stuff like that. And I feel for him, man. I feel for him. Like, this is right around the holidays. He's going to want to be with his family, things like that. He's got a ton of things to worry about, I'm sure. I don't think he's going to be ready to go, guys, on Saturday. I just don't. I think you can fully expect. I think there's an 85% chance, right? You got an 85% chance of Tyler Huntley in your forecast for Saturday. I'm just saying. Take that for what you will. Just saying. Let me see in the live chat here. We do have a super chat donation. This one's coming from Majin Bull. Appreciate you, Majin Bull, making it rain here on Quiet Storm Sports. Majin Bull says John Harbaugh and Zach Orr faced hit pieces on Monken's start. This time, hit pieces on Lamar come out. John Harbaugh also trying to minimize Lamar's injury, just like in 22 and 23. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel like he has a good pulse, again, on Lamar Jackson's status. Maybe the communication between Lamar Jackson and the Ravens is pretty bad. There's no agent in between. I know that's more so for contract negotiation stuff. But I think overall, just Lamar Jackson is just a private guy. Like, He could not show up to work. He could not show up to practice one day and just be like, hey, coach, like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not coming in. Not really give you any more than that. And that's his right. You know what I mean? I mean, that's his right. He can do that. Let me see. John Harbaugh and Zach Orr faced heat. Yeah. So the hit pieces are nasty. The hit pieces are nasty. We're going to get into them. Don't worry. We're going to get into them. 86 Ghost with another super chat donation. Appreciate you, 86 Ghost. One of our members here at the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Says, how much I got to pay to get Blue Name certified? Blue Name certified. What that is. What that is. I might be missing it. I might be missing it, Ghost. I might be missing it. That's my guy, Ghost, though. Member here in the chat. Shout out to all of our members here at PRP, official members of the hashtag ReignGang. Make sure you guys like this video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Get a little emote on screen, just like our super chats as well. LBHT show in the house. What's going on, LBHT? I believe that's Jose down there in the chat. Appreciate you for coming through, whether it's Jose or Brodney. Shout out to y'all. Had a great episode of Ravens Roundup yesterday. And another $5 super chat from Majin Bull. Shout out to you, Majin Bull. Again, making it rain. Majin Bull says, I've said for 4 or 5 years that the team will scapegoat Lamar to save John Harbaugh. All local and national media happily playing along too, which should shock no one. Yeah, I mean, it really feels like this media, the Ravens media, coaching staff, front office, are looking at Lamar Jackson heavily like, what have you done for me lately? And that's a problem. That is a huge issue. Because what does that tell you? That tells you right then and there, we think that we are more important than you, Lamar. We think our decisions that we make in the coaching staff, in the front office, right? In the management rooms, right? We think that those decisions are more important than what you do on the football field when it comes to this franchise. That's what that says. That's how I think Steve Bisciotti feels, even. I do. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. 121 people watching live right now between YouTube and X and Kick. Appreciate all of you guys for coming through. Shout out to everybody. And again, Merry Christmas Eve, or Merry Christmas if you're watching this as part of the replay gang on actual Christmas Day. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's get into this article. Let's get into this article. Let me pull this up on screen too. Spiritual War says, Dave Chappelle said it best, the audacity of this black man to think his talent matters to us. That's a word. That's a word. That's a word. The Hawk, a member in the house. Got to shout out all our members in here. If you're a member in here, say something. We got to bring you up on screen. Shout out to all of our members. All right. Again, let's get into this article, guys. Let's get into this article. Mike Preston, Baltimore Sun, released an article yesterday around the time that me, Coach, Jose, Carrie, and Chris, we went on live for Ravens Roundtable, and I wish one of us would have spotted this article before we went live so we could talk about it all together. I wish. If I had one wish, like Rager, I would go back to yesterday, 24 hours, so we could talk about this on live together. Me and my Ravens Roundup crew. If I had one wish, I'd have my guy Alex right here with me, who I know is busy and with his family and stuff and enjoying the holidays. All love to my brother Alex. We could talk about this together. But guess what? One of my wishes, because you get 3 wishes from a genie. One of my wishes is going to be fulfilled because I get to talk about it with you guys. I get to talk about it live with you guys. As you guys can see here, the headline for it is Mike Preston Ravens, Lamar Jackson are at a crossroads. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. The only person in the castle at a crossroads right now is Steve Bisciotti. That's the only person, because the crossroads he is at is you have to choose between John Harbaugh, your head coach of 18 years, or Lamar Jackson, your superstar quarterback of 8 years. Which one do you want to move forward with? So maybe I guess that's kind of correct. The Ravens, Steve Bisciotti, and Lamar Jackson are at a crossroads, but John Harbaugh needs to be a part of this conversation at all times. He needs to be mentioned at all times. I do not like the positioning of I do not like the wording of these type of statements and how it positions Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. No, bring up the real issues. Bring up the real issues is what I'm saying. Let me check the I think we got another super chat donation before we start reading this. Admins get blue names like an X in Instagram. Oh yeah. I can make you an admin. I can make you a mod. We need a couple more mods, maybe about 2-3 more. I just added 2 new ones the other day, but we could use a couple more for sure. I got you, Ghost. One of our members here. Members can be mods. I think I saw Tila in the chat. Another one of our members here. Shout out to Tila. Ashley's in here. Another one of our members. Shout out to all the Purple Rain Gang members here. Void is in the chat. What up, Void? I see you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Shout out to all of y'all. Okay. Let's start reading this article, guys. And shout out to my guy, Coach. Shout out to the sippers, because I'm sipping right now. It's Merry Christmas. Cheers, guys, before we get into this. All right. Here we go. Quarterback Lamar Jackson's career has hit a crossroads in Baltimore. The team has been in negotiations with the 28-year-old Lamar Jackson about an extension to the 5-year agreement worth $260 million he signed in April of 2023. But there have been no specific updates, even though those discussions are ongoing. I would not offer him another contract, not with the injuries he has suffered this season. In fact, I'd ask him for a rebate like former great Tom Brady did with the New England Patriots. A discounted deal would let the Ravens sign some quality offensive linemen and put a cap on the 41 sacks taken by Baltimore quarterbacks in 15 games this season. Pause right there. Again, these are Mike Preston's words. He started off this paragraph saying, I would not offer him another contract, not with the injuries he has suffered this season. Basically, he's saying Lamar Jackson is damaged goods whose trajectory is all of a sudden pointing down. In an off year where the offensive line was not addressed, where there was no competition at left guard and right guard, and that led to Lamar Jackson getting hurt, in a year where those sort of things were going on, and when the year prior, he throws for 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in what should have been his 3rd MVP. All that just happening, and you want to say you wouldn't give him another contract. Okay, so ship him off to Miami. Ship him off to Las Vegas. Ship him off to somebody who needs a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Now what do? You do all that, you end up like the fish at the end of Finding Nemo. You're in little plastic bags just floating out at sea. Can't do anything. You're just going to get carried by the current. Not going anywhere, really. At least not anywhere you want to go. without Lamar Jackson. So just stop it. Just stop it. It's absolutely ridiculous. We got a membership here in the chat from Heather. Appreciate you, Heather. Just became a member. Thank you so much for joining the official Purple Rain Gang. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. All love to Heather. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Let me see. Coach, Sip to Tally Films, another one of our members here. Part of the Purple Rain Gang. Officially. Says, what up, good people? What's going on, Coach? We reviewing your boy Mike Preston. Baltimore Sun. And yeah, I paid $1 for the article. I know we needed it. It's Christmas. It's clickbait, but it's Christmas. So I clicked on it and I paid the $1. So Merry Christmas to Mike Preston. Let's continue. He says, you want better protection? Give back and we'll buy some. The Ravens have the same philosophy as most other teams in the NFL when it comes to overpaying a quarterback and then going light on the offensive and defensive lines. He can't be serious, right? Is Lamar Jackson even a top 7 paid quarterback in this league? Is he? I don't think he is. I truly don't. Let me see. Let me look up something right here in real time for you guys. Highest paid QBs in NFL right now. Let me see. Quarterback contracts and salaries from over the cap. Let's see something here. And let me share this tab with you guys so you guys can see too. So from top to bottom, let's go. Dak Prescott 1, Burrow 2, Allen 3, Jordan Love 4, Trevor Lawrence 5, Tua 6, Jared Goff 7, Brock Purdy 8, Justin Herbert 9. Lamar Jackson is the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league. And you really tried to use that as an excuse, Mike Preston, for why the Ravens could not surround Lamar Jackson with more talent on the offensive line. What are you talking about, you big-nosed bastard? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I don't mean to insult the man, but I don't appreciate him insulting my intelligence and your intelligence. I don't. Doesn't make any sense to me. Uh-oh. We got some gifted memberships in the chat. What's going on? Tila M, the mod. Tila and the M stands for moderator, so you make sure you're on your best behavior. Gifting the 5 ReignGang memberships here in the chat. We appreciate that, Tila. Tila's so active in here in our community. We appreciate her for everything she does. That is awesome. That is awesome. If you got a membership from Tila off of the 5 gifted, please tell her thank you in the live chat if you can. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I can see him in the chat here. Mike got a membership from Tila. Tanja got a membership from Tila. Trevinci got a membership from Tila. Corey Boone got a membership from Tila. User PG1 got a membership. Shout out to all y'all and welcome to the Purple Rain Gang family. And Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas. Tila says, didn't mean to interrupt. Carry on. I got you. Okay. Oh, Lord. Moggs. I didn't mean to put that up on the screen. I didn't mean to. But I see you, Moggs. All right, here we go. So back to it, right? That's no excuse. No excuse that, Lamar Jackson is getting paid too much money. As a matter of fact, his deal has been team friendly up until next season. So get out of here with that. Right? Plenty of money to go around for Lamar Jackson. Let me share my screen again for you guys. Let's go back to the article. There we go. Okay. So he says, you want better protection? Give back and we'll buy some. The Ravens have the same philosophy as most other teams in the NFL when it comes to overpaying a quarterback and then going light on the offensive and defensive lines. It says Lamar's salary is set to count for $74.5 million against the cap in 2026 and 2027, which would make him the highest paid signal caller in the league. But here's a suggestion for Baltimore. Maybe it should call in former Ravens greats like middle linebacker Ray Lewis and safety Rod Woodson, who each played 17 years, to speak with Lamar about extending his 8-year career. The injuries have come because he plays quarterback in the NFL, and he's the best dual threat player in the history of the league. That's true. He missed 3 games because of a hamstring injury, and then knee and ankle and toe problems forced him to miss a day of practice every week afterward. Now he has a back contusion. Maybe Ray Lewis or Rod Woodson could enlighten him about proper conditioning and diet. There was no player more efficient about nutrition than former Ravens tight end Shannon Sharp, who played 14 years. Lewis ran those hills over at Oregon Ridge, and Woodson had his own stretching routine. The breakdown of an NFL player's body is natural, but Jackson could help himself. He doesn't need to be up late at night playing video games or falling asleep in team meetings. He needs to train more around the castle instead of only attending mandatory mini camps where he disappears after one day. Let's stop there. Let's stop there at that paragraph that I just highlighted. And if you're just getting in, read that paragraph that I just highlighted. And while you read that, I got to shout out Heather. Heather gifting a membership, gifting a ReignGang membership in the chat. It's Christmas time, guys. It's Christmas time, guys. I can feel it in the air. That magic I was talking about earlier on Sutton Reactions, and if you haven't watched that show yet, make sure you check that out. Sutton Reactions, we've been having a lot of fun on that, talking about pretty much everything other than sports. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you check that out here on PRP. But Heather, again, in the chat, gifting the ReignGang membership. We love that. We appreciate that. Shout out to you, Heather. Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to Moggs, who was the recipient of that gifted membership. Welcome to the ReignGang family again. Thank you again, Heather. But yeah, about this paragraph that we just read, it's a very lazy take. Why is it a lazy take? I want to point out, number one, Mike Preston says here, Lamar Jackson does not need to be up late at night playing video games. Stop right there. Stop right there. How would you know that Lamar Jackson, what would lead you to believe that Lamar Jackson is up late at night playing video games, and that's what's distracting him and making him fall asleep in team meetings? The same guy who, after 5 weeks or 6 weeks, took all of the games out of the locker room, the same Lamar Jackson who removed the games out of the locker room in the Baltimore Ravens facility. You're saying that's the guy who stays up late and plays video games. And that's why he's falling asleep now in team meetings, which is the first time I'm hearing about this. So are you trying to expose and sabotage the very player, Mike Preston? I'm talking to you. Are you trying to expose and sabotage a guy who is essentially, without him on this team, the Baltimore Sun wouldn't be paying you? Again, I paid $1 for this article for 6 months. $1 for 6 months. What does that tell me? Nobody buys your written media. What does that tell me? You have to force yourself to write articles like this and make claims with zero proof and expect us to believe it. So everybody watching right now, of course, you don't got to go and invest money into this article. You just got to watch this video. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Because again, what are these claims backed by? Lamar is falling asleep in team meetings and playing video games, staying up late at night and playing video games. Eric Johnson says in the live chat, is Mike Preston lying? Well, I'm going to have to assume he is, because I don't know how he would know that Lamar Jackson is up late at night playing video games. And some random Twitch kids and clippers on the internet wouldn't have found that already and reported that back to home base, which is Ravens flock. That doesn't make sense to me. But let's keep going. Here we go. A major problem, a lot of it on the Ravens, is that they are a team. There are team rules, and then there are rules for Lamar. That's why Baltimore practices in the heat of the afternoon instead of in the morning. So he's saying that the Ravens show favoritism towards Lamar. Let's keep reading. Once the Ravens become critical of Lamar Jackson, he becomes more withdrawn. It's a shame because Jackson is not a mean-spirited person, just an overgrown kid in an adult's body. So you're calling Lamar Jackson childish. You're saying he stays up too late and plays video games. He falls asleep in team meetings. He's unprofessional. Basically, he's immature. That's basically what you're saying here. Super chat donation from Josh Hoffman. Appreciate you, Josh. Merry Christmas to you, brother. Josh with the 5-piece in the chat says Mike worked at a restaurant that got bought by Procter and Gamble, and now he has to do backflips for his check. This is not journalism. It certainly doesn't feel like it, Josh. It certainly does not feel like it. At all. Sounds like he's backflipping, twerking, whatever you want to do for that check. That's what he's doing. 40-ounce bouncing for that check. Pause. Appreciate you, Josh. Making it rain here on Quiet Storm Sports. It's nasty stuff. It's nasty stuff. But I'm going to keep reading it, though. Got to get my dollar's worth. You know what I'm saying? Share this with the ReignGang. His on-field play has been outstanding. There aren't too many players who can run at full speed and cut. Only Jackson can do that. His arm strength has improved, and so has his touch on the long ball. At first, Lamar could only throw rolling to his right, but now he can toss it from anywhere on the field. So, I mean, are we just going to like alternate paragraphs? Like, okay, I'm going to shit on Lamar, then I'm going to big him up, then I'm going to shit on him, then I'm going to big him up, then I'm going to shit on him. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Let's continue. Yet, when Lamar was a rookie, former Philadelphia and Atlanta star quarterback Mike Vick warned him of the dangers of being a running quarterback. Maybe he wasn't Nostradamus, but the consistent hits have taken a toll on Jackson's body. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that a 2019 Lamar Jackson, who was in his first year as a starter, was able to throw for 37 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions in a season and win MVP in his first year? Again, his first year as a starter in this league. Why do you think that was actually able to happen? Because he had a good offensive line. And now the only reason why you're saying now the injuries are piling up and he looks like he's regressing is because of the offensive line and also the coaching as well. Both the biggest issues. Void in the chat with the super chat donation. Appreciate you, Void. Merry Christmas to you. One of our members here, part of the ReignGang, says 100-cent paywall for him to do tricks on it. Pretty much. Well, it was 106 cents because it was $1.06. Got to add tax, right? 106-cent paywall for a new trick on it. That's right, Void. That's right. Oh man, chat's moving today. Appreciate y'all for coming through again. Merry Christmas Eve to y'all. We're gonna keep rolling through this article here. This juicy ass goddamn expired juice article. Yeah, and he did it with his chest, his whole chest, his whole chest. Golly, man. All right. Just be sure to cancel after 3 months. Oh, I'm canceling after this live stream. I'm canceling after this live stream, Tila. Don't get it twisted. I think I've patronized enough. After this clickbait. It's crazy. All right, let's keep it going, though. On Sunday, Lamar left the game with about 2 minutes left in the first half after he took a knee in the back after a 3-yard gain up the middle from safety Craig Woodson. There were some who questioned his toughness, but I didn't. The skepticism is understandable because Lamar missed the team's final 5 regular season games in a wild card round loss to Cincinnati in 2022, the last time he was involved in contract negotiations. But Jackson is, first and foremost, a competitor, and this time of the year is crucial for teams with postseason ambitions. What I see is a player whose body is starting to wear down. The NFL's most valuable player in 2019, 2023 has averaged 22,269 career passing yards with 184 touchdowns and a passer rating of 101.9 while rushing for 6,506 yards, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. And he says, he has paid his dues, especially with his reluctance to slide or go out of bounds near the sideline. A gold jacket and a bus will definitely be presented to him one day at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. This season, though, has been so disappointing, especially with the team expected to be Super Bowl contenders. In 11 games, Lamar is averaging only 192 yards passing per game and only 18 rushing yards. His passing totals are his lowest since 2022, and his yards rushing are the fewest of his career. In 8 postseason starts, Lamar is 3-5 and performed poorly, which is why there is a regular season Lamar and quote unquote postseason Lamar. I'm convinced that Lamar will rebound, but not unless he starts following a strict training regimen complete with weightlifting sessions. Number one, every offseason we see Lamar Jackson working out. We see him working. Now, how hard he's going in some of these workouts, we don't know, right? For all we know, Lamar Jackson could be posting just, a couple of workouts and then just to show us that he's active and whatnot. But I don't think that's how Lamar goes. You don't get to say that he's a fierce competitor and then say that he's not working out. He's not trying to get better. That's what fierce competitors do. They spend most of their time trying to get better. Now, the gas station seafood plates, okay, that's another thing. I do wish, when it comes to the dieting and things like that, Lamar could be a little bit more strict in that department for himself, but it'd be some good food out there. It'd be some good food. It's some good food in Baltimore. I know that. And it's good food in a lot of these cities that he visits, But anyways, let's keep it going. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Nope, I'm good. All right, cool. All right, let's keep it going. Let me see. And also another thing about these playoff performances. Why can't we not look at it like John Harbaugh has 3 postseason wins in the last decade? Why can't we not look at it like John Harbaugh? Because it's a team sport, right? Football's a team sport. And there's a leader of every team, which John Harbaugh has been for the last 18 years. And in the last 10 years, the Ravens have 3. His team has 3 playoff victories and 0 consecutive wins in the playoffs. 0. Every time the Ravens have made the playoffs in the last decade, they've won 1 game in the playoffs, and then right after that, they got bounced. They've never been able to put up a back-to-back performance. If there's anything that speaks to coaching, It's how consistently your team shows up, especially when it matters most. And you can point to, the Lamar Jackson interceptions here and the fumbles there and the drops here and the players got to play and whatnot. Or you could point to what we see with our own eyes as well, the intangibles of carrying the ball 6 times in the AFC Championship game when your defense only lets up 17 points and you can't eclipse that, right? We can look at just this past week, not putting Derrick Henry in the game when that was the only weapon that was working and our best chance to win. You could look at week 1 against Buffalo, the team just completely falling apart from top to bottom, also not running the ball. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Thea Pennell asks in the chat says, Sutton, I got to ask you, is Lamar done with us? It's on the table. I made a video yesterday about this. Lamar, he might be fed up. He might be fed up. But the reason why I have a problem with this article right here in particular, and I'm going to keep going with it, because it makes it seem like Lamar Jackson doesn't hold all the cards when it would come to a negotiation. It makes it feel like Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta, and Steve Bisciotti can walk into that meeting with Lamar Jackson and his mom when it's time to negotiate his contract with their legs crossed and smiling ear to ear, like, go ahead, just tell us what you think you want, and we'll tell you why we're going to give you this and you're going to like it. That's what this article is making it feel like. Like Lamar Jackson has no leverage in the situation. Like he hasn't done anything. Like we've just done totally right by him his entire career. Let's keep going. Quote, meanwhile, the Ravens should explore all options. It's clear that John Harbaugh has become tired of Lamar Jackson. Even though he builds him up after every game, he has to, or Lamar will go into his own self-exile. So we're saying that it's clear that head coach John Harbaugh has become tired of Lamar, which I don't all the way disagree with. I don't all the way disagree with that. I said it yesterday. I think that the Ravens and them making the conscious decision to sign a Cooper Rush, a quarterback that flies in the face of their whole continuity philosophy, because he doesn't match anything of what our regular offense is running, like a mobile offense. That says something. That said something to me. So I don't all the way disagree with that. Let's keep going. The Ravens should look at possible trades. Here we go, which could net them 2 or 3 first-round draft picks. Jackson, a South Florida native, would love to play in Miami, where quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is no longer the starter, or possibly Las Vegas, where Brady, a partial owner of the Raiders, has shown a fondness for Lamar. Baltimore should also draft a young quarterback in the early rounds of this upcoming draft. Okay. Here we go. Again, we talk about exposing, we talk about sabotaging, further sabotaging the relationship, the already kind of seemingly fractured relationship between the Ravens and Lamar. This is why this is nasty. This is why this is nasty. Because as like beat writers, people who take the heartbeat of the team, and report that to us fans, these guys, these reporters are basically the mouthpiece for fans. So it's very dangerous when you have guys like Mike Preston put up articles like this that inevitably guys like Steve Bisciotti will get wind of. And they'll say, oh, well, maybe is that how Ravens fans are feeling about him? I mean, they really like him, but they think we can get maybe 2 or 3 first-round picks for him. That doesn't sound too bad to me. Eric DeCosta likes picks. I love John Harbaugh. Again, speaking of Steve Bisciotti, I can see he might do that. He might do that. Would that tank his business immediately? Absolutely, because Lamar Jackson is the heart and soul of the team. And if he is the smart businessman that I think he is, which I have to assume he is because he's the billionaire, not me, I think he would know that at this crossroads that I talked about earlier, he's got to choose Lamar over John. It's got to be one or the other. You're still going to make money either way, which is why he might just be like, hey, I'm hands off. Y'all making money? Cool. I'm good with this. I'm good with what's going on. Super Bowls, elective. Being in the green, that's mandatory. And we've been in the green. PSL members, merchandise sales, ticket sales, they've been up the last decade. But not because of John Harbaugh. Because of number 8. Let's keep going. Right now, the Ravens are a mess. They still have an opportunity to make the playoffs if they beat Green Bay on Saturday night. And then Cleveland upsets Pittsburgh on Sunday, setting the stage for the AFC North title to be decided next Sunday in Pittsburgh. It sounds fitting, especially as it's become more and more like the WWE. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Both careers appear to be at the crossroads, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it there. So, again, Mike Preston with a very disingenuous, with a very dangerous, with a very, just an article that's lacking fact-based claims. Because again, the highlights for me, where did you get specifically, again, as a media member of your stature, where did you get that Harbaugh, number one, Harbaugh is tired of Lamar? When Jonah Schaefer reports today that John Harbaugh said that the relationship between him and Lamar is quote unquote A+. Like, if you're gonna say those things, you gotta give me some quotables or something. But the biggest thing, you're saying Lamar Jackson plays too many video games late at night, and he's falling asleep in team practice. I would love to know how true that is. Would love to know. Man. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody in here. Appreciate y'all for coming out. We have 241 people watching live right now. Oh my goodness. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much again for coming out to this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Again, I am your host, Sutton Def. This is the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Let's go back full screen here. There we go. We'll get out of there. And look, some comments here before we get out of here. Make sure you guys like this video. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you're enjoying this content. This Ravens content, again, if you can't tell, right, this is a Baltimore Ravens themed YouTube channel. We cover the Ravens each and every day of each and every week of each and every month of the year. 365, right? So if you're looking for off-season content, we got you covered here. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button again. Subscribe to the channel, and maybe consider joining the ReignGang membership, because we do have exclusive content that comes out just for the members as well. So, again, read through some comments here. Let me see. Habitual line stepper says, typical from the Baltimore Sun. Never been credible. Just a bunch of false rumors and propaganda. That's what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. I hate it. Tired of these clowns bashing Lamar like this. Exactly, for what? And then you got Nick Wright. Here comes Nick Wright, right, on Twitter. He's like, oh, thank you, at Mike Preston from the Baltimore Sun, for saying the things that I've been wanting to say for so long. And then the next post that I see from Nick Wright is from his podcast, and he's screaming into his microphone. He's like, oh, can you imagine? Because you guys know how much he loves Trevor Lawrence. He's like, can you imagine how insufferable I'll be if Trevor Lawrence wins a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? Like, think about it. He didn't even say Josh Allen and then Lamar Jackson. He said Lamar and Josh, not Josh and Lamar. That is interesting to me, because Josh has no excuse to not win a Super Bowl this year. No excuse at all. He's right there with little to no competition in the AFC. No disrespect to the other teams, but there's no hardened veterans there. And for this particular segment, he decides to say, oh, if Trevor Lawrence gets a Super Bowl before Lamar and Josh, I'm going to be insufferable. He has a clear agenda against Lamar Jackson. That's clear. Even though it's weird because his son like loves Lamar and is a Ravens fan. It's odd, but you know, whatever. Let me see. Goth Kid says, what video games does Lamar play? I don't know. But again, he took those games out of the locker room. So make that make sense, right? Make that make sense. That's Hollywood with the video game, says Torres. Yeah. Static Skater says, a hit piece in season? Mike Preston definitely got order from Owings Mills to put this out. Wouldn't be surprised, man. Propaganda. You got to leverage yourself. I mean, it's all about leverage. These contract negotiations. I wouldn't be surprised if Eric DaCosta was in cahoots with some of these guys in the media to try to spin different narratives, right, in favor of the Ravens. Nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. Oof. Gross. Let me see. Ghost says, I'm about to not be a fan of this organization if this is how we treat people. Man, I want to take a smoke break from this team. Low key. Got to take a smoke break from this team, especially if the Ravens were to retain Harbaugh, retain Daniel Faalele, like my guys from Charm City Sideline said. I'd have to take a smoke break from this team. I honestly would. Louisville Cardinals Raven says Lamar has been a pro on and off the field. Lamar has been scrambling around in the pocket for 2 years and has taken a lot of hits this season, which will explain injuries. Shut it down, Lamar. F them. I think he should shut it down too. Honestly, I've been saying this. You know, the Ravens have a 7% chance to make the playoffs. You know, he did not practice on Wednesday. Again, like we talked about at the beginning of the show. What reasoning do we have to go out there and play him for the rest of the season? You know, yeah, you could beat the Packers on Saturday. And yeah, maybe the Browns will beat the Steelers. They've won 2 out of the last 4 matchups against Pittsburgh. Maybe it could happen. Pittsburgh doesn't have DK Metcalf. You know, they've been up and down all season. Maybe. But I just don't think it's worth it. You know, and now really, what can we really expect out of Lamar? Now with this back contusion compounded with all of the leg injuries that he's got. It's like, what can we really expect? Or do we just pack it in and try to like run it back next season as healthy as possible for Lamar? Because the last thing I would want is for a freaking Patrick Mahomes situation out there where we're already like basically dead to rights and not making the playoffs. And then you get a real catastrophic injury. Like that means I'm knocking on wood. Don't get me wrong, but that's the last thing I want to see. Last thing I want to see. We got another super chat donation in the house. T. DeReese dropping the 2-piece in the chat says, I left Ravens for good when they re-signed Andrews. Andrews, I mean, you know, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I said, you know, with Mark Andrews, and that reminds me of something else too that I want to talk about the tight ends. A depreciating asset like Mark Andrews should never get extended for 3 more years, right? At the most, I think it would have been more beneficial to get him for 1 to maybe 2 years. But signing up for 3 more years of Mark Andrews when he's clearly on the decline, you know, clearly can't produce at the same level that he used to in years, let's say, 1 through 6 with Lamar Jackson. Never been a playoff performer, a playoff riser, which is what you need from one of your leaders, most tenured veterans on the team. You need that for those guys to step up in the playoffs, and he's always shrunk. But you extended him. And while I'm on this topic, I thank you for the super chat donation. While I'm on this topic, I don't understand all the love and adoration and admiration and just infatuation and all the Asians with Charlie Kohler. I see all these people on Twitter talking about, oh, Charlie Kohler this. Charlie Kohler, we need to extend him. He's the tight end we need to pay. He's the tight end 1 of the future. It's like, for what? It's like, have y'all lost y'all minds? Have y'all lost the plot? Charlie Kohler is a decent to good blocking tight end with extremely limited playmaking ability. If you're telling me you want to offer Charlie Kohler, of all people, second contract money, when this Ravens team is known for basically being a tight end factory, that's the one position we can draft for sure. If you don't think you can draft another tight end who can give you decent to good blocking and limited playmaking ability to basically play for free on a rookie contract, What are you talking about? You know, I appreciate what Charlie Kolar has done this season. I do. You know, but I still think that he's the third best tight end on this roster right now. Maybe that's just me. But I'm just saying you can get a tight end in the draft who can provide the same abilities that Charlie Kolar provides without paying Charlie Kolar second contract tight end money. Might just be me, but I mean, I hope not. It's seeming like, because when I go on Twitter, when I go on, these YouTube streets, there's a lot of people bigging up Charlie Kolar. And I haven't really understood it. Tila says Charlie can do everything Andrews can do and likely ain't doing nothing. I disagree. Because if you think about it, what is the biggest play you've ever seen Charlie Kolar make? What is the biggest, coolest, most electrifying playmaking type of play that Charlie Kolar has ever made? You can't really name me one. You get back corner of the end zone or wide open touchdowns in the end zone. You get stuff like that. Like play action boots where the whole defense is flowing one way. Charlie Kolar's open, wide open the other way. And he's just got to catch it. He gets maybe that one catch per game or every other game where, he catches the ball and then clumsily stumbles forward for maybe a couple of more yards or something like that. I mean, I'm not the biggest Mark Andrews guy in 2025 either, but I've seen Mark Andrews make plenty of plays that I don't think Charlie Kolar could ever make. Let me see. Shad Hakeem, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for dropping the 5-piece in the chat. Happy holidays to you. Says if analysts are saying trade Lamar before they fire Harbs, then the Bengals should trade Burrow before they fire their coach then. Just insane takes. Yeah, yes. This is true. There's some sort of affinity to Burrow that, football heads, football moguls and fanatics around the world that just love Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. I wish that he didn't get hurt so often. I wish that he had a better offensive line, not for the Ravens' sake, but just because I love watching that kid play football. He can play some football. He can spin it, But it does seem like every time that the Ravens are struggling, whether Lamar Jackson is injured or not, it always comes back to, well, what's up with Lamar? It never comes back to what's up with Harbaugh, because the Ravens have built this culture that really protects Harbaugh at all costs. Protects Harbaugh at all costs. Offense isn't performing, get a new offensive coordinator. Harbaugh's not an offensive guy. It's not his fault. Get rid of the offensive coordinator. Defense isn't performing. Harbaugh's not a defensive guy either. It's not his fault. Get rid of the defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. And he's still living off that one Super Bowl. That wasn't even really won off of, him being a genius head coach. It was one off his players being gritty, right? And wanting to do things their way, and then having just those dogs on that team. And there were multiple that year in 2012. There were multiple. So, but yeah, EDC got a fetish for safeties. We might draft a safety. In the damn draft. I can see it. All right, guys, let me see here. Let me check some last minute news here. Okay, injury report just dropped 1 minute ago. Let me see. Cheeto Awuzie practice limited practice today for Cheeto Awuzie with that foot injury. Kyle Hamilton practiced in full today. Jay Higgins practiced in full today. Lamar Jackson, of course, did not practice. Keaton Mitchell practiced in full with a calf injury. And Andrew Voorhees, left guard, practiced today. He was limited, though, with that foot injury. So that's something, something to think about. Andrew Voorhees, I wanted to see Emory Jones get a start. I think that would have done wonders for, you know, what he's able to put on tape and to really prove to the coaches, like, okay, maybe we do need to make this guy the permanent starter. I think he needs to start. Let Andrew Voorhees take Christmas off, right? Let him take the holidays off. Have him come back. Never. Let me see. But the Green Bay Packers injury report, oh my goodness. You talk about a laundry list. This has got to be 20 plus players easily. So, oh my gosh, I don't even want to read through all this. I'll just go through the important names here. Romeo Dobbs practiced in full. Josh Jacobs was limited today in practice. Jordan Love was limited today in practice, of course, with a shoulder and concussion. So Jordan Love, it's on the table. He could play. He could play. We'll have to see tomorrow, though, if he's part of their walkthrough day before the game, as we know it is in Green Bay. Let me see. Guard Sean Ryan was limited in practice today. Luke Van Ness, defensive lineman, practiced in full. Wide receiver Christian Watson, who got hurt last week, he practiced in full, so he will play. Linebacker Christian Welch with an ankle did not practice. Let me see. Dontavian Wicks, wide receiver, practiced in full. Malik Willis did not practice with a shoulder, but also an illness. And I think the illness is probably more of the reason why he didn't practice. So it's looking like both Green Bay Packers quarterbacks could be available for that Saturday night game. But we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Let me see. Okay. I think that's about it. I think that's about all that I have for you guys here on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports, as we're about an hour in, 260 people watching live right now. Thank you guys. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you like this video. Please, 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 guys, if you're watching on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to our channel as well if you did enjoy the content. Again, I'm your host, Sutton Def. We are here pretty much every day of the week giving you Baltimore Ravens content. If you want to hear me talk about other things other than Ravens, football, other than sports, right, you can come through and join us on Sutton Reactions, where I give you my live reactions to pretty much everything that comes to the forefront of my attention and yours, because you can send me topics. Again, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. Love you guys. Merry Christmas. Please be present with your family and friends, whoever you're spending it with tomorrow or today. Again, whenever you might be listening to this. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Be present. Have a happy holidays. Peace.